Welcome back everyone to the Pawn Storm YouTube channel. In this video, I'm super excited. This video is kind of um, an add-on video, if you will, to the video that I made about some 5 or 6 games, I think, between Stockfish and Leela. And in this video, I have a few games to show you from the TSEC Super Final. That is the Top Chess Engine Championship 27. So TSEC Super Final, which is the final they call in there, and it's number 27. And in it we saw Stockfish again paired against Leela, the two best chess bots right now that we have in the world. And yeah, I'm going to show you a few games here, and I'm really excited for this video, and I hope you can gain some stuff. First of all, before we start, I have something to show you here. This is a stat from my channel at the moment, showing the amount of subscribers, and right now it says that over 85%, close to 90% of you are not subscribed. So if you like what you see here, if you like the channel, like the content, please consider subscribing. It would mean a lot, and we can continue making some great content. And also, a couple more things. First of all, the average watch time, I think, is like 2 or 3 minutes on one of these videos. So if you guys yeah, enjoy the videos, please stick around, because we'll be having some great content out soon, and I really enjoy making these videos for you. So thank you for watching. And then lastly, I have a poll on my my YouTube community page for a couple different ideas for videos. Maybe I'll add some more, but I have a poll there, and then another a post on my community page asking what kind of ideas you want to see. And if you have any ideas for future videos, consider leaving them in the comments with #suggestion. With that being said, let's get into this first video, or the first game, I should say. Alright, so we have TSEC Super Final 27. Stockfish is playing with the black pieces, rated 3683, and Leela is playing with the white pieces, rated 3652. The games that they play here are pretty slow. I think they're like the time control here, it says, is 120 minutes, so 2 hours per bot with 12-second increment. Alright, so we have e4 played by Leela, and Stockfish opens the game with c5. Also, I just got this boom for my microphone, so I kind of like it. Before that, I just had a little stand on my desk, so I kind of like this, getting some upgrades on the Pawn Storm channel. Also, you get to see all these upgrades when you come back, so yeah, it's pretty nice. Alright, with that being said, let us get into the game. Alright. E4, c5, we have a knight f3 and d6. So I'm just making some adjustments here. Alright, d6, this is the what is this one called? This is the Najdorf variation. We have d4, takes, and knight f6, and knight c3, and now we have d6. More commonly, it's known, at least at higher level, to play a6, just to control the bishop from going to be f5 and also those two knights. But Stockfish plays e6, and now we have g4. This move is a little bit more interesting. I don't think, I mean, there's might have been like a handful of games that have had this move in there, but yeah, not many, probably. G4, and we have a6. So there we go. We have the one of the top, I guess one of the top moves. What does it say for black here? After e6, it says it wants knight to c6. Okay. After a6, we have bishop g2, and we have knight back to knight fd7, and bishop e3, and we have b5. So Stockfish kind of going for a an early attack on those white knights. Also, I just have a little snack here to eat. Okay. And also, this game is really long. It's let me see if I can find it. Also, there's a lot of just random computer junk on here, like um, just uh, random lingo, computer lingo. I don't know what this even is. Okay, um, right, where are we? B5, and now we have F4. That's kind of funny. On the screen where it shows, you can't see it, but on the screen right next to the board, there's the screen with the moves, and the space. Whoopsies. B5 and F4. The space in between B5 and F4, there's like 4 sentences that I can't even read. I think they're all just variations of moves. If we go here, what does it say here? Yeah, these are just variations. Anyway, B5, F4, and bishop B7, and now we have G5. I can hardly read this because there's so much just random words and moves and whatever. Okay, G5. This is more of a uncommon move. It's like, especially like at lower level, but I don't know. I've never seen a game or like a move like that before. But also, these bots are about 3,400 points higher rated than I am. So anyway, G5. Bishop E7. Also, if you've made it 6.5 minutes into the video, thank you. I appreciate you. You are among the small amount that have made it this far, so very much appreciated. And if you've made it this far, consider staying around, because these games are just chaos, I guess. Not I guess, they are. And you know, we can always learn something from these games, because I mean, these bots are just so good. They've been so good. They've been so much more good than us. That's just bad grammar. They've been better than humans for at least like 20 years, ever since basically ever since Deep Blue defeated Garry Kasparov back in the 1990s, I think. So yeah, I really like, I mean, not even making a video about it, but just sometimes just going over the game by myself and just seeing like what these bots are, the variations that they're thinking up, and just like the moves and the mindset that they have of, you know, going out into the future, and just they have this information and that tells them the move. It's just wild stuff, you know. It's just crazy stuff. All right, Queen D2, and Queen D2, and now we have castles played by Stockfish, and Leela goes H4. We have Knight C6, and we have long castles, and Rook C8, and King B1, Knight A5. So yeah, so the engine likes Knight C4, kind of planting the knight there, attacking the queen, attacking the bishop, attacking the pawn. Knight would have very nice mobility there. We have Queen F2, and the knight is planted on the C4 square. All right. After C4, we have bishop back to C1, and we have B4 attacking the knight. The knight goes back to E2, and we have queen to B6. Clearly, Stockfish is playing some kind of attack on the white position. He's got that beautiful bishop on B7, just staring down like a sniper on the pawn on E4, and he's got the knight there. He can push in the center like the engine likes. He can, push E5, and he can bring the other knight. He has nice vision with the rook if the knight ever moves from C4, and just a great position here for Stockfish, the 3,683 rated chess bot. Queen B6, and we have Rook HF1 and A5. Okay, so as I said, clearly Stockfish is planning some kind of king side. I should say queen side, because that's the queen side. Queen side attack on the white position. One that could possibly be devastating, honestly. I mean, you have the queen there. You have the backup pawn. You can bring the bishop. It's not looking too great for white there on the queen side. A5, and Leela strikes back in the center with, I guess it's in the center, with a flank pawn. We have F5 played, attacking the E6 pawn. and we have a4. So Stockfish does not care about Leela's attack on the e5, e6 pawn. Instead, it's going to go for this great attack on the white position. We have h5. Leela still trying to create an attack, and now we have bishop a6. Bishop h3, and we have d5, king a1, and a3. F takes e6, and f takes e6. Knight f4 blocking because otherwise you would lose your queen. And oops, actually my bad. It is not black's turn. Oh, excuse me, please. Hang on a second here. All right, and after hang on, if I can just get back here. Where were we? Right about here. Okay, f takes e6, and we have knight f4, and knight c5, and we have knight d takes e6, attacking the rook. And instead of defending the rook or moving it, we have b3. So yeah, Stockfish just does not care all about this attack that Leela is making on it. b3, and we have knight takes d5, allowing the queen to be taken. Stockfish does take the queen on f2, but in exchange for that, Leela will get the knight. So we have knight takes, bishop takes, and then we have rook to d8 check. Queen takes, knight takes, and we have a takes b2 check. Bishop takes, rook f1 check. Bishop takes f1, knight e3. We have bishop e2 having some nice control of that knight. And we have knight takes c2, king b1, knight e3, a takes b3, knight takes b3, and yeah, so right now, let me see, so yeah, so actually after that little trade up there with the queen and the rooks and whatever, actually Leela is up a pawn, which is kind of crazy. Knight takes b3, and we have h6. Yeah, the reason black cannot play g takes h6 is this is a pin with the bishop here on b2, and you cannot take because you would be allowing yourself to be checked, and that is not allowed. After h6, knight d2 check, king a2, king g8, and also, yeah, white moved in such a way that they can no longer be checked again. Which actually no, they can be, but no, they cannot be checked anymore because the knight defends the e6 square from the bishop, and the knights cannot check anymore. Anyway, king a2, king g8, bishop takes, knight takes e4, and bishop e4. Bishop f5, bishop h5, knight g4, bishop g7, and this game is as good as done because yeah, Stockfish is getting quite brutalized right now. Knight takes h6, bishop takes h6, bishop e5, bishop e6, well, can't speak. Bishop e6 check, king b2, knight e4, knight e7 check, king h8, bishop d1, knight f2, bishop f3. But folks, there's still 30 more moves to this game. This game was 77 moves long, so buckle up. Bishop f3, and bishop g4, bishop c6, and bishop e6, king c3, knight g4, bishop g5, king g7. So yeah, Leela just walking the king in there, and keeps walking, kind of shuffling those bishops around, trying to find some key squares. Keeps shuffling, and after a while gets somewhere, wins the knight through what was this? So Okay. Yeah, Stockfish just gave away its knight for some reason. Bishop f3, and after a little bit, there we go. After bishop takes c6, um, Stockfish resigned. So, because these bots are 3652, 3683, and they know how to checkmate with two bishops. And, yep, because if you, wait a minute, if you were to take, the king can go there, and then it wants this, and then after this, it wants this. But then what? You go there. No, you can't go there. After this, here, here, here. Yeah, there we go. So this is mate here. But that took a little bit. And that didn't even happen. So instead, we have this little maneuver, and that's mate there. But alas, that did not. We did not go to mate. Instead, we ended here. So yeah, Stockfish resigns, and Leela wins the first game of the video. And we can do one more, I guess. We can do a couple of these games. Let's do that. Alright, so let me find another one here. And let me know, just to let you know, guys know, this tournament, this whole, super final ended, I think, okay, yeah, so the first game, the last game that I saw on here was today. The last game I saw. Let's pull up another game. Alright, this game was quite crazy, in fact. Quite crazy. Let's do this thing. So we have d4, and Stockfish is playing with white now, and Leela's playing with black. And if you've made it this far in the video, again, this is my second shout out for viewers watching, I don't know, more than 10 or 11 minutes. Thank you. I really mean it. Thank you so much for watching this far. I do deeply appreciate all of you for watching, and hope that you enjoy it. And also, subscribe, I guess. I'm going to pull up the stats again. Again, more than 80, almost 90% of you guys are not subscribed. So please consider it. Consider subscribing. It would mean a lot. And let's keep making some great content, you know? Keep making some great chess content. I enjoy making these videos a lot for you guys. Let's get back to the game. Alright, and after d4 we have d5, and we have knight f3, and then we have c5 and e3 and knight c6. We have c4 and c takes d4, c takes d5, queen takes d5, and knight c3. You cannot take this either way, because then you'd be losing the queen. So you cannot go something like here, because you'd lose your queen, and black will not lose its queen like that. Okay, and after knight to c3, we have queen a5, and knight takes d4, knight takes, and pawn takes, and now we have a6. Alright, after a6 we have g3, so clearly intending to fianchetto that bishop on the g2 square. That's what the top choice of the engine here is suggesting. G3, and now we have e6 and bishop g2, and bishop e4 pinning the knight to the white king. We have castles, and now knight e7 and bishop b2. So it's better in a position like this where a bishop is attacking a knight and the pawn is defending. It's better to move a bishop. If you can, it's better to move a bishop to, behind the knight in this case, because in that case, because here you will not be damaging your pawn structure. Bishop e2 and castles, and now we have a3. So kicking out the bishop goes back to b6, and now we have rook c1, queen b6, attacking this pawn, as you see. Now we have b4 and bishop b7. Clearly, Leela is trying to take advantage of some of these light squared weaknesses. Maybe in the future, trying to trade off the knight and take advantage of those the squares maybe on the queen's side, something like that. So after bishop d7, we have d5 striking in the center. We have knight f5 and pawn takes d6. Bishop takes e6. And now knight d5, queen d4, knight back to e3, and that pawn is hit. So the rook slides over to b8, and now we have rook e1. Stockfish clearly trying to start some kind of attack with the two rooks there on the c1 rook has a great vision, has some great vision there. Completely open file, has nice control there, very nice control. The e1 rook is blocked by the knight, but at some point the knight could maybe trade itself for the other knight or a bishop or something. Rook e1 and queen d3, and now we have rook c3 and knight takes e3. And rook takes d3, knight takes d1. We have knight takes d1, or knight takes d6, and knight goes to b2, and rook c1. So in this case, after this little exchange happened here, so here, white could have taken the knight here. But this is a very bad move because now this rook is so passive and it'll have to move again. This is the better move here because this bishop is probably a lot better than the knight here. The knight is kind of just trapped almost. But anyway, let me see. Okay. Alright, now we have knight b2 and we have rook c1. Rook f d8 and rook takes, and now we have bishop c3. Knight d3, and now Stockfish sorry, I kind of forgot who was playing white and black. Stockfish plays rook d1, and we have b5, and we have bishop e4, bishop c4, adding another defender because otherwise you would just lose the knight for nothing. And now we have f4. Stockfish is preparing something big with the pawns over there. h5, kind of trying to counterattack that, and now we have rook d2. I don't really understand what rook d2 does, but I mean, that's like saying the equivalent of me saying I don't know what rook d2 does in a game this high level is like me saying it's like saying I don't understand something like very complex or very high level, like just something like that. I can't think of something, but you know what I mean, I think. But rook d2, and now we have king f8. This is another move that I just don't get. The engine would have liked it if the king would have stayed on g8. I don't know what f8 does. I'm assuming it's trying to escort the pawns down. I don't know. King g2 and rook c8, king f3, and now we have knight c1. So the reason the knight moved is because the rook moved out of the pin, and so now the knight is free to move. Knight goes to c1. Now we have bishop b2 trying to keep attacking. Knight goes to b3. It's one of the only safe squares. A2 would have also been fine, but if they would have gone to A2, then if it would have gone to A2, let me think, then you could probably have gone like here, and I think the knight is almost straight up trapped, so you don't want to go there. Anyway, bishop b2 and knight b3, rook d1, and a5. We have king e3 and f6, rook d7. This move, I mean, rook d7 makes sense. You're just trying to, as the engine is saying here, you are trying to get behind those pawns and trying to win them. rook d7, and rook e8 check, not rook e8 check, sorry, rook e8 and f5, bishop f1, and king f4, rook c8. Yeah, so clearly Leela was intending to go here, but you can't do that. Well, I don't know if that's clearly, but basically, yeah. Now Stockfish just wants to win that bishop, because it is the one defending that pawn right there on b5. Rook d1, and we have bishop e2, and rook goes back to d6, and rook bishop f1, bishop e5, and bishop d5, sorry, and sorry, where was I? Rook d1. Here we go. Bishop d5, and now we have a4, locking in that knight there. Now we have bishop e4, still trying to control some of the knight's passage out, and also the bishop as well, I guess. Yeah, the bishop there on f1 is quite passive. King e7, and rook slides to d1. Bishop c4, and now we have h3, just controlling the h and g pawns there. h3, bishop f7. I just think it's cool that I have this microphone like this now, because before I just had the desktop stand. Also, I might just bring that back. I don't know, but I don't know. This is kind of cool having the microphone like this, and I'm like a streamer and stuff now. I don't know. Maybe not a streamer. I'm not a streamer, but I don't know. It's just cool to have the microphone. Anyway, bishop f7, g4. I mean, we know what this move does. It makes total sense. G4, h takes, h takes, and now we have rook h8, king g3. Yeah, white does not want to allow that rook getting over there on the h file and harassing the pawns and whatever. So we have king g3, also defending that h3 pawn from the rook going there. Rook d8, and now we have rook takes and king takes, and bishop c6. Bishop back to c4 defending, and we have king f2. So white is now going to try and reroute the king, and this is what we see here. Going to also, there was a little bit of a it looked like a little bit of a repetition almost here. So on move 52, it looked like a little bit of a repetition, but not clearly. So yeah, here Stockfish offers a trade. This is probably just winning. This is just winning for white if they trade. So Leela does not, because the king is, if they were to take, the king takes on d5, and then it's so close to that those pawns. So instead we have bishop e2 attacking the pawn, and we have g5. So Stockfish sacrifices a pawn, but if Leela were to take, then you could just take here. So not really sacrificing, but sort of sacrificing. Alright, and after g5, we have king d6, and bishop b8, bishop a8, king e7, and king e3. Bishop goes back to c4, and bishop f3. Knight c1, bishop d4, knight b3, kind of just shuffling a little bit. Stockfish locks down these pawns, because it'll be easier for white to win those pawns there, because black has light squared bishop, and the light squared bishop for white is constantly patrolling those pawns there, its own white's pawns, and the knight is kind of a little bit passive and not really. It's kind of just shuffling around, doesn't really have a lot of good squares to go to. King d7 and king d2, knight b3 check, king c3, knight c1, king c2, knight b3, bishop f2. Yeah, so at some point we should see a little bit of breakthrough here. Doesn't look like much, almost looks like a draw here. But both pawns are completely locked down. But then Leela starts pushing, and gotta watch out here. Yeah, and here Stockfish sacrifices the pawn, the bishop, sorry, and takes the pawn and queens, and there we go. So this move here, queen d2 checkmate, is the 114th move. So this game took 114 moves of just shuffling. I mean, just everything, just shuffling, just so much. Like back here is the 78th move, and I mean, just like so much going on here. I mean, a lot of back and forth, calculating different things, and pretty crazy. So, yeah, it was quite a crazy game, I should say. Stockfish did a great job at the end, although it looked kind of you know, a little bit before the queening, right around here. It was equal, totally equal here. But then, you know, Stockfish brought its A game and sacrificed that bishop at the end for a great win. So, yeah, also, what does it say Black's good move, best move here is? Does it say? Let me see. So, we wanted this, and then this, of course. Wait a minute, let me see, hang on. Yeah, so, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and if you've watched this far, thank you. And hang on, yeah, thank you guys for watching. And if you want to, you can check out the other videos that I made. I think the latest video that I made about these two bots was called, like, it was something like episode 2 of Stockfish versus Leela or something. So you can check that out. And then the first video, I forget what the first one is called, but I might be making some more AI chess content in the future. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I think that's it. So you can click here, right here, to subscribe, and click here for YouTube suggested video for my channel. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.